is the one.
Hello everybody and welcome. As I previously mentioned on the video where I report everything that is wrong with my focus, I got my instrument cluster repaired. Basically, it looks like something out of Matrix, the way the LCD screen was behaving, and it needed repair because what else was wrong with it? And therefore, it's one of the things that is a common fault with the Ford Focus Mark II, also with the Mark I, but in a different way, where all the solder joints get a bit worn, they start to detach from the printer circuit board and so on, and it needs repair. And also I needed to find out if there was anything else wrong with it. But it is a job that I didn't do it myself. Yes, you can do it. You can buy kits where you can buy the LCD screen and remove the old one, resolder it and so on. And although I'm fairly confident with the soldering iron, when it comes to that precision nitty-gritty type of circuit boards, I rather not to touch it and leave it to a professional. And this time I use the services of Laurence Lagden from LL Color Conversions, who does way more than just a repair on instrument clusters. He offered me his services and the cluster is now back in my hands. To remove the instrument cluster, it's a very easy process. You lower your steering wheel to the very bottom, then it will show at the bottom two torque screws, and then you just undo them and undo this trim piece as well, and then you just pull it out. It's a very easy job. But how does this get repaired? I'm going to show you a few pictures and also let Laurence to explain it himself.
So here's my little box of tricks that I made. This is basically power, turning the ignition on and turning your lights on. These three buttons here is the same as what's on the indicator stalk. So you've got the roller and then the select button on the end. So we can go, so that's basically when you unlock the car, that's power, that's CAN bus coming alive. We then go ignition on. Got a little bit of hieroglyphics going on. And then we can use these buttons. So up and down the menus. Let's try a gauge sweep and the LED test. So to do a gauge test, LED test, screen test and a needle sweep, is basically, you could do it in your car. So you have power on, which you've always got to the car obviously. Now this button is basically the end of your indicator stalk, so you press and hold and then turn the ignition on and keep holding that button on the end of the stalk until it says test, which in theory that says it now. If I now press that, it will start doing stuff. So that was the sweep. That's the screen test. That should be completely black, and it's not, is it? And then we've got LED test. So it will flash different colours. Interestingly, it doesn't show the fog light icons. It never does. And then by pressing the stalk button on the end, you could scroll through all sorts of different information, fault codes, engine temperature, lots and lots of stuff. Right, let's pull this one apart. Okay, so I'll strip the clocks. This is the main connector. So you can see just around the base of the solder, so like there, and you can see on several of the pins there is cracking, and that will cause all sorts of errors. It'll even make it so your car won't start. And normally it's the end ones that go, and that's because they're under the most load with the weight of the loom in the car pulling on them. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is a lot of companies will literally just run a soldering iron along those and reflow them. I actually remove the solder completely, and I would check all the pads and all the tracks that nothing's damaged, and then I'll resolder them using a leaded solder. And that leaded solder has a slightly lower melting point. It also has a slight bit of flexibility in it, so it should mitigate this happening again. Right, just calibrating the needles. Pretty good. Slightly low, too high, too high. Screen's working well. Let's give it a test run. So ignition on. LCD's looking better. So let's press and hold the stalk end button. Ignition on. Keep holding it, holding it, holding it, and it should say test. Test. You should do a gauge sweep. There we go. You should reset. Pretty close. I always set these very slightly under. You get a slightly more accurate speedo reading in. It still reads legally a mile or two faster than what you're actually going, but it's just a more accurate reading. All the pixels are now working. LED test. So if I have a little scroll around, you can see all the different information that you can pull up. And this is by pressing the button on the end of the stalk, the select button. So you can actually do this and then start the car and leave that showing on screen. It's good for diagnosis.
Passenger side door rear open, passenger door open. Perfect. It's fantastic. I'm very happy with it, that everything is working as it should be. Marvelous. I am very happy in having finally a fully working LCD display, and in the future, I'm very likely to be next year, I would like to upgrade the instrument cluster to the facelift one. I think it is a much better looking cluster. And you probably will say, oh yeah, but that is red, and while the rest of the car is green. Yes, I will be upgrading all of that as well, and it will include the light switch, the misted buttons, the ventilation, the radio, electric windows, and so on. I will be, with the help of Laurence, sourcing all the parts in order to convert everything from green to red. But what if you don't fancy green, red, and you want blue, for example? Laurence can also assist you in that. So one of his main things in the business is to convert the current color that you've got on the instruments of your car to a different one that you like, and I will put you all his contact details, and he can give you a quote and all the materials needed in order to do that. And also he will help you not only with the repairs of your instrument cluster, but he will help you also to upgrade it to the facelift one. And he does many other things as well, installing factory parking sensors, Bluetooth, and even, providing that the loom can be sourced, heated seats, which is something that can be very complicated to find in many Focuses. Most of them do not have the correct wiring loom, and if you contact Laurence, he will be more than happy to help you in that and do that service for you, coding everything for a fee, of course. But if you would like to know more about these services, please contact Laurence on the link below. please find on the video description as well all his contact details with the other services that he will provide regarding Ford Focus Mark II. He's a very knowledgeable person when it comes to Ford Focus Mark II, and I couldn't find anyone better for this sort of jobs. Now, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.